Well, a very interesting show for us. We missed all the big news on Monday by about 30 minutes, so we made up for it on Tuesday. We discussed the Brandon Browner thing, reiterated the Walter Thurmond story, but most special for us, I think, was getting the opinion of a very opinionated Seahawk, and that was Golden Tate, who did not. Hey, we asked him the questions, and like I like to say, he chooses to answer them. He doesn't dodge them, and he answered them. I don't know. Do you think it was to the detriment of his teammates?
No, I don't think so, but I think it was more honest and probably a little more forthcoming than most people would throw out there. I mean, the team as a whole, and you appreciate this, have the backs of players who get in trouble or make mistakes, and I think they should. I think that's part of being a team, is, you know, whether you agree with decisions or not, you have their back, but at the same time, you can call it like you see it, and I think that's what he did when we asked him about, you know, his feelings, seeing what was going on with Browner and Thurmond. You know, he said he kind of went company line for a bit until we talked about, you know, these are mistakes made by guys who had already made mistakes. These weren't first-time offenses. They were in the program. They were under a different scrutiny than others, which makes the moves even more of a head-scratcher. And he basically said at that point, you know, to paraphrase, yeah, you could call these moves selfish, and you would like to believe that these guys would look at what we have going here and look at that as being much more important than anything they would do on the side. But, you know, I guess you can't. And I would strongly advise listening to the interview, because I thought he was really, really good.
He was great about that, and I in particular. Now, the thing that struck me about the reaction to the whole story yesterday was a couple of his teammates, not Golden, I think it was Doug Baldwin, Richard Sherman, a few others, went on Twitter and immediately kind of got into a back and forth with some members of the fan base saying, hey, you're with us when times are good, you're not with us when times are bad. Just a Twitter battle that seemed unseemly, not good, et cetera, et cetera. So it was kind of refreshing, I thought, to hear a different opinion from Golden Tate than the one expressed by his teammates, although he did get off a fantastic line. And he's simpatico with him on the Twitter thing anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the line was, he says, a lot of people on Twitter, talk like Tarzan but look like Jane in real life.
Yeah, basically talking about the keyboard warriors, the Twitter tough guys, the people that
Those are good lines too, by the way.
Yeah, well, I've had plenty of experience. But they're people that basically will sit behind a keyboard and become very brave and emboldened and say things that they would never say to somebody's face should they come across them in public. And he's right. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, and that's sort of the avenue for a lot of people to express their opinions in a very vulgar or mean-spirited way. And I would advise listening to that part especially, because it was very funny, just his thoughts on some of the reaction to the people that were really taking, not just criticizing and showing disappointment, but really taking it to a different extreme.
I think the message we're trying to get across here is listen to the interview on the podcast. It's really good.